tell me I'm everything you despise. That I'm the personification of evil. That I'm what? Responsible for the breakdown of the fabric of society and world order. I'm a one-man genocide. Say everything you want to say to me now. Because you don't have long.
Transitioning now, it says. And if anyone here in the stream can see me, hear me, anything to that effect, let me know if you can.
Oh, I'm live.
Live. Okay.
I just got the cue. What's up, gamers?
What's up, gamers?
Welcome
back to
really
Longathon.
I am
Dylanjayfox.
If you don't know
me,
I'm best known for my
escapades.
Echo.
Okay. I will remain quiet, trying to let them fix this.
Okay, I'm gonna talk now. We'll see if it's fixed.
We'll see if we're good.
Want to make sure we avoid tech issues before we jump right on in. Let me know if it's fixed, everybody, if we could. Welcome on in. I might have fixed it. I did see a duplicate audio channel on the OBS, but I believe it's right now. Fixed? We're so fixed. We're so good. Okay, so we're just gonna move. Okay, so that's kind of my bad. We did a tech check, thought everything was good. There was a duplicate audio channel of my mic, but we're fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no, I get you. It is what it is. Regardless, welcome on back to Really Really Longathon. I apologize about the tech issues. And welcome on through, everybody. I'm Dylanjayfox. If you don't know me, I'm best known for my escapades in Spyro the Dragon overall as the series, but mostly Spyro 2, which is a game we'll be demonstrating and showcasing for you guys here today. We're running a bit behind schedule, so I'm not going to ramble on for too long. We're going to get into the game, which, if you don't know, we're doing the 100% category, right? You can see at the top, basically, this category is an extra special treat. And personally, I view it as one of the absolute best categories in all of Spyro speedrunning. It's very unique, very flashy, lots of fun, and we start off, how we always do in this game, in Glimmer. So, you know, the intention of 100%ing any game is to collect all the things, right? Any collectathon in particular. Our main MacGuffins that we are going to be collecting throughout this, that was a really good flame charge to start with, are going to be both gems and orbs, as well as 14 talismans that we need to collect to complete the game at 100%. I also saw a quick message about Chris LBC, which I do want to make mention of. Massive inspiration of mine, incredible GOAT. If you guys are not familiar with Chris, he is very sick. Just quick shouts to my boy. He is one of the people that kind of I actually learned the route from when I was initially learning. I watched like his PB and then HypnoShark's PB and a couple of other folks. But Chris, absolute GOAT. It's also cool that you're from the same hometown. That's actually sick. So throughout this game, a lot of what you're going to be seeing me do, just throughout the entirety of this, like roughly 2 hours we're going to have together,
Thanks for helping.
is doing a lot of flame charging, double jumping, to better optimize collection and specifically collecting gems. The orbs come via minigames. In the case of that first one we just got there, we collected based off of hitting all of the outside lamps within a set time limit. We're also going to be doing with this inside set of lamps. We'll also hopefully one-cycling these gems. I unfortunately just missed a basket, which is actually it's a pretty big problem here, but it's not too deep. Like, we'll be able to recover it. I just can't miss the one cycle. Awesome, let's go.
Thanks for helping.
Alright, well, we still have the one cycle, even if we beefed it a little bit. That's out. This actually is not a bad Glimmer, all in all. One of the very unique parts of this game that I'm going to talk about as we go along is there is an extreme amount of difficulty in the opening part of this game, in the opening roughly 15 or so minutes. Basically, Glimmer, I would tell you outright, this level is probably the single hardest, or like up there as one of the hardest ILs to do optimally in the entire route. And then in addition to this, like, already pretty hard, like, opening level, which, you know, opening levels of speedrunning, like, when you have a tough one, it can definitely, like, hit, right? In addition to this already being a tough IL just to get out of as it is, we then have to follow it up by doing what is essentially a modified version of the any percent route, which in general is pretty difficult to do optimally. I broadly speaking don't really run completion categories like more than like trick-based categories or any percents or any percent adjacent categories.
This magic.
So the actual any percent portion that we're gonna be doing here at the start is something that I'm a little bit better at than like other runners around my skill level, kind of strictly because I've just done the any percent portion a lot more. So here we're entering our first homeworld. Every single one of the Spyro 2, like, I guess what I would describe them as is homeworlds, all have different individual level portals which we want to go through. However, because of the boss rush, essentially, that we have to do at the start, the any percent we have to accomplish at the beginning, we actually aren't going to be visiting these portals right now. So you see me, I'm running by Idle Springs there. We're not going to be visiting Colossus here either. Not until a bit later on. And this is all because after we do the any percent for this game, we gain access to not only Fireball, but also an extended Sparks range, which allows our little buddy here, who's also doubling as our like HP bar, more or less. Little gad's grabbing gems for us. His name's Sparks. It basically, by doing the any percent and by beating Ripto, his range like triples for like how far away he can grab gems from, making him a lot more efficient and making it significantly better just to do Ripto earlier. Some like rough estimations for how much this saves across the run by doing this specific route compared to just doing the levels normally without extended range. Is it's roughly about 3 minutes worth of time save. So this entire game we're going to be running to basically the end, doing all of the levels in Winter Tundra, the final homeworld, and then backtracking further from there. So that being said, here's the first of the game's bosses. This is, of course, Crush. He's just a funny little guy with a club. The way we get past him very easily is we're just going to have to take a damage abuse here. We're going to try to keep him on that specific pad. And we're going to take 2 more damage abuses from these fireball attacks. As such, and in doing so, we're going to keep him on this specific pad. It's just generally optimal to keep him on this one. And because of this pad will now turn blue. So now we can jump over his attacks, lure him away from the pad just a little bit. That way he runs back to that one specifically. And then wash, rinse, repeat. It's not exactly an interesting boss fight. There's not really a lot to talk about with it. But it's honestly kind of neat to just have it be fairly easy. Yeah, the route for this category is a lot of why I was as attracted to it as I am. It's what I would describe as the most flashy of the completion categories in the Spyro series. Where compared to like Spyro 1 and Spyro 3, you're kind of doing things in fairly like sequential order. Like you're not doing things that out of order usually. Like in Spyro 3, you can kind of do little things again to the side areas early for like the little side critters. But like compared to Spyro 2, you don't really have like that adventurous of routing, I don't feel. At least with like the overall route compared to like what you would expect it to be. Also, here's a pretty big trick. If you ever get into this game, you will have to learn it for pretty much any category. It's called Climbless. It's a series of fairly precise double jump inputs, which, again, fortunately, because I played this game quite a lot for the any percent categories, or any percent plus categories, if you will, like 14 Talisman and 40 Orb, I've gotten pretty proficient at it over the years, and it's usually not too big of a deal. Now here we're making probably the longest kind of inoptimal slow thing that we have to do in the entire run. We're just gliding to this island. We're going to grab another homeworld orb. And all of those 25 gems. And now we're going to do one of the most infamous skips in the entire game. This is the hardest part of doing this route for a beginner, called Gulp Skip. And our intention is going to fall between a crack here, or is to fall between a crack here. Okay. Got a shadow drop. That's just for that. Okay. Adjust our camera. I unfortunately started my charge glide a bit late. Usually the hard part is actually getting to fall in there, but I unfortunately mess up the easy part. But you know how it goes. It's a classic. Basically, this allows us to do an out of bounds here to hopefully get into the boss fight for Gulp early. It's fairly challenging. I will say, if you're new to it, it can be very hard to get that little drop that I just did. Then we land like such. Now we get to go into Gulp. Very, very nice. Plus about, give or take, 44 seconds to my gold. Both because of movement, also because of the second try, but we'll take it. Absolutely. Yeah, the amount of backtracking in this game cannot be understated. Basically, throughout the game, you're expected to unlock a bunch of abilities, such as swim, which we purchase. I was really dumb. I meant to flame that barrel a little bit further away. We'll talk about the backtracking here in a minute. I want to talk about Gulp. So, guys, I just want to introduce you to the light of my life, if you will, the love that I hold deep in my heart. And her name is Gulp, right? This big green, beautiful, beautiful beast is my wonderful wife that I've spent hundreds of hours with. Trying to understand and master and get better at. In general, to explain to you Gulp in one word, it is RNG. It is simply RNG. This boss fight, you start off with 3 mandatory phases. You get barrels, you get bombs, and then you get rockets, right? As you saw us do. And then beyond that, what occurs is you will get random drops for the remaining 6 hits you have of Gulp, which you basically have to hope and pray that you get like things that you can get doubles out of. As you just saw me, I hit a barrel into Gulp and then I shot them with a rocket. That does not always occur. So here I'll be able to get another double, this time off of a never mind. I got a pivot because I inputted that really poorly. That was an execution failure, not a RNG fail, which automatically makes it feel worse. Oh, wow, I hit the... That's actually really tragic. I didn't mean to hit the second bomb with that flame. I only meant to hit the one, and that was going to hit the barrel into him. But yes, that's unfortunate. I don't love this. Yeah, I didn't love that. I just did not love that positioning for all that. Okay, my big green wife is gone. The love of my life is this boss fight because, in general, I will say this: it is one of the most interesting things in this game. This boss fight, in my opinion, it's frustrating because you will just lose a lot of time to it. Yo, Squid, thank you so much for the G. Welcome on through. Also, quick shout outs to just generally the Spyro community. If you guys want to learn like this game or any others, be sure to join like the Discord. There's an awesome community of people that like to show up for marathons and stuff like this, like to show up for other players, and really are passionate about the games and the like overall like seeing this hobby succeed. So if you want to be a part of that, be sure to join the Discord. Yeah, I find Gulp really interesting, and just in general, it's a very like rewarding boss fight to get better at. But sometimes you'll just have Gulps like I just. All right, so here we're going into Dragon Shores. We just did a little out of bounds, which I didn't talk about. Basically, whenever a portal is not loaded, oh, this is scary. I just thought about something. It's okay. It's not gonna. Took my time there. There's a chance that we can crash there, which I always forget about. It just came into my mind because, yeah, there's a chance you can crash if you swim there because Sparks isn't supposed to be. It's a weird thing. I'll explain at some other point. But basically, we're going to do the hardest trick in the run for Flare. Okay, we're going to do regular swim in air. I said I would give it one try for the marathon. There's a lot to talk about. And I'm kind of like losing my pacing on what I want to talk about with it. So basically we're coming up towards the end of the boss rush section, which ends by getting into Ripto one of 2 ways. Okay. So for us, it's either going to be a trick called Spyro into Ripto, or it's going to be a swim and air into Ripto. Run into Ripto is usually used in any percent in 14 Talisman, as it's very optimal. It saves around 40 seconds in the categories. This one, it saves about like 9, and it's also the hardest trick in the entire Spyro series. That was a very, very clutch swim and air, by the way, because if I died there, I would have game overed. And I would have had to start coming in from outside of the castle. Okay, that's not bad. How come they made one good Spyro game and then all the following games boggles them?
Spyro, we want.
Yeah, doing that staircase optimally is genuinely really challenging. Ah. Thank you, Nat. Welcome on through. I have no idea why they made that staircase so steep. It feels so extra. Alright, so here, because we've gained the Fireball power-up via getting into Dragon Shores early, this entire Ripto fight is basically a non-issue. In casual play, this boss fight is so much more challenging, because you have to go around the arena collecting orbs. But because we have Fireball, we don't even have to think about it. Like, we just hit him with Fireballs for the first 2 phases, and then this third one, we actually just basically play casually. Alright, and that's the boss rush. That is the any percent portion of the run. We have beaten the... We have not completed the game, but we have beaten the game. So, now what we need to do is we need to go through every single level that isn't Glimmer and collect all of the things. In general, by the way, Gaz, I'm trying to think of how to read your name. I'm a little bit illiterate. I'm gonna call you Gaz. In general, I think that all of the Spyro games are pretty cool. There are some I think that are a bit weaker than others, like some of the DS title, like the DS title of Shadow Legacy, for example. But ultimately, it kind of comes down to preference, right? Like, I believe Skunk Fairy here is a extremely talented The Legend of Spyro trilogy runner. Alex Crew, for example, is a new beginning runner. And I definitely know quite a few people who run games like A Hero's Tale, Attack of the Rhinox, Season of Flame rather. Like, while I do agree that the original PS1 trilogy is probably the best, like, for my money, I would very confidently tell you these, like, the original 3 games are the best overall for me. I still think that the other ones are pretty good in general. Like, I enjoy A Hero's Tale a lot, especially as like kind of like an aside. I think it's really fun. Yeah, the GBA games are super neat. I believe I think it was a few years ago now, but I want to say you guys showcased like a co-op run of Crash Purple and Spyro Orange. Like, you did like it was like an all-card speed run. I think it was like by like Rubber Ducky Assassin, maybe. I believe that might be the name. I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, I think everyone's definitely entitled to their taste, though. But I do think that a lot of the Spyro games are a bit more slept on, if you will. Like, compared to the original trilogy. So kind of just continuing throughout the levels, right? You're going to see some very zany, different routing. And a lot of, like, usage of, like, different game mechanics to kind of help ourselves along the way a little bit, right? Right now, we're kind of abusing a mechanic that is called double jump. Wasn't intended for the game. It was later patched out in the Japanese release of this game, as well as in Spyro 3, you can no longer double jump. And it actually created a bug that creates a stutter jump, which makes Spyro fall when he's jumping off certain surfaces. It's actually really annoying and kind of can ruin speedruns of Spyro 3 in certain ways. Like, you could lose quite a bit of time to getting a stutter jump. So, in getting rid of arguably the best movement mechanic this game has to offer, they also created a really awful problem for like all Spyro 3 speedruns. That was a really nice night. That's fair, guys. I've don't tell anyone though. This is between you and me, guys. But I've very long been a bit of a Spyro 1. Well, I've missed a 5. I've very long been something of a Spyro 1 hater. And it doesn't come from a place of me actually hating the game. Rather, it comes more from a place of me really preferring the other ones. Alright, so it looks like I missed a 5 on the track. I actually don't know how I missed it. Oh, that's horrible. Okay. So, just something to talk about here, right? This is an excuse. I should have noticed it. I went through. But basically, when you charge through baskets or you charge through or like you hit strong chests or whatever in this game, when the gems fall, they have a certain element of RNG to them where they can fall a bit further or a bit closer to you when they're like landing, right? And this creates a scenario where sometimes the gem RNG will make you take inoptimal lines, will make it harder for gems to be collected. So there, because I was in a supercharge, I just didn't really notice it. Yeah, Sparks pointing at remaining gems is incredible. That's totally fair, guys. That's a lot of what I like about the original Spyro, like Spyro the Dragon. I think for me, it's maybe a little bit too simplistic. And I found when I've been running it, like over the years, like doing runs of that game, I've just very often found that I wish that like there was something in it that like kind of spiced up the gameplay a bit more. I think Spyro 2 and more so Spyro 3 kind of overcorrected that. They're a little bit too complex. There's like a little bit too much going on in some areas. Like especially I would say Spyro 3. I think Spyro 2 strikes a happy medium. But Spyro 3 I think is a bit much. Yeah. I've held the long-standing belief that like I want to like Spyro 1, like I want to like love that game so much. I really do. But I do just find myself being kind of indifferent to it. And like I said after I complete the challenge I'm currently doing, which I guess I should touch on. I'll touch on after this. I did say after that I wanted to try to like Stockholm Syndrome myself into liking Spyro 1 more. See, if there were more microtransactions in Spyro 1, it would go so hard. It would go so hard. Oh my god.
I knew it.
I forgot what saucer phase I was on there. And I might have done this slightly out of the order I meant to. That is okay because we can recover this fairly easily, actually. That's fine. We recovered that.
Nice flying.
But yeah, I would love to like love Spyro 1 for real. Like that's not a joke. Like I really wish I did. It still is like a good game. I think it has a very fun movement engine for speedrunning. Like even as a kid, I wasn't very fond of how Spyro controlled compared to the later games. All right. So we've recovered this level nicely. It's not going to be great, but we're only losing give or take like 10 seconds. Isn't bad considering the start and also some other parts that might have gone wrong due to my faulty execution. That's actually true, Thrasher. Characters. I mean, what I more mean, Squid. I think in a casual setting, Spyro 1 is pretty great. Like, especially the reignited version of Spyro 1, because it fixes the main problem I had with it as a kid, which is just I really hated the control. Like, I hated how heavy Spyro felt. He just felt horrible to move compared to in the later 2 games. Which is why I think they, like, obviously, like, made that change, right? It's because, like, that was probably the main thing. Admittedly, I don't know anything about Skylanders. But, like, I think Reignited Spyro 1's really awesome. I think it's pretty fun. I think that is the definitive way for me, like, if I were to say, like, how to casually play the game. Like, Spyro 1 Reignited is just better purely because of the way he moves. But in a speedrun setting, I find that the things to love about Spyro 1 are very limited for me. I don't really like how a lot of the collection feels. I don't really like certain aspects of it. But, again, that's not me saying you can't like it. But there's just not a lot that I personally do. However, one thing I do really like that they started with were, of course, flight levels, which later in Spyro 2 and 3 became Speedway levels, which for the longest time, even as a kid, I thought Spyro 1 flight levels were called Speedways, and I only found out they weren't called that recently. So, with that in mind, all of these flight levels have mini games and a specific time trial that you're meant to accomplish by getting through 8 obstacles or shooting 8 things or whatever. And then you do a mini game. In the case of this one, it's like a little shooter. It's like an auto scroller. This is quite literally just kind of the pew pew mini game. That's it. That's all it is. He just here. He's a little dragon guy. He's controlling a funny little thing, and he's just spewing out all these balloons. That's totally fair, guys. And that was our first Speedway level of the run. We do have 3 more, so if you guys did enjoy that style of gameplay, we got plenty of that coming up left. Crash, let's not lie to people now. You can't be gaslighting people into telling them they'll love Spyro 1. What if they're like... Anyway. So, I haven't really been talking that much about the run, admittedly. Because really a lot of it's wash, rinse, repeat, right? So, talk about this level, because it's a bit unique to some of the other ones. This one contains a fetch quest. Be starting here early on in the level, which we're going to be basically doing a bit of like a trade up, if you will. If you've seen like those little YouTube shorts or TikToks where it's like, I'll trade you an airhead for a baseball, and then the baseball gets traded up for like something else. Think of that concept. Instead of that, we're trying to get the professor here his pencil back. So he's going to start off by throwing us an egg here. Like, oh dude, an egg, fire. Then we collect it. We're going to do some gem collection while also doing this entire fetch quest. And we more or less will start the level where we did and end roughly where we started. Here we're going to do some precise double jump skip this fountain. Very nice movement there actually by me. Well done, Dylanjayfox. Thank you, Dylanjayfox. No, I'm not used to trying to commentate my Honda runs like properly. Can you tell?
What?
Okay, well, we started the dialogue box. So, fun fact about that, Kelly. If you are interested in that, there are mods for the Spyro Reignited trilogy. I don't know if you're specifically speaking about original Spyro 1, but there are mods for the Spyro Reignited trilogy which allow you to give all of Spyro's abilities to... Or, sorry, Spyro 2's abilities to the Spyro 1 model. Which, it does definitely change the way that the game is played. Alright, so here we get a duck from a plant, which we are going to take. Once again, just kind of collecting things as optimally as we can. Grabbing gems in kind of a weird order. What I will say, and give the duck to the mother duck. What I will say is, genuinely, if you've played this game, which I like to think most people probably played Spyro 2, right? Show of hands who's played Spyro 2, you know? If you've played these games, the route that we're doing for this is just so diametrically different to anything that a casual would do. Strictly because of the addition of double jump, fireball, and the spark. And because of that, it creates such innovative and different routing, which we get to like kind of capitalize on and utilize to our advantage to really cook up some great runs. Also, this was a very good Mystic Mark. Probably the best level I've had so far. I'm gonna say that before I have gotten to the end and not jinx myself, because I didn't miss a gem. I would not do that. I would never miss a gem. Get the professor in there with his pencil.
My pencil!
Those 2 gems get the teleport. And we have got everything. Sparks will be pointing at something otherwise if we did miss something, but we didn't. My favorite level casually. So casually, it's actually really weird to think about this game in a casual sense, because I've been speedrunning it for so long. And I'm assuming you mean to complete. Like if we're talking like complete the game. But I think casually,
Well, it's something.
it's got to be like Skelos or something, because I really have always enjoyed the vibe of that level. It's just a very nice aesthetic. Obviously, like it's obviously the like title screen. That one comes up at like the beginning of my mind initially. Then there's of course, didn't press circle. That pressing. Then there's also Magma Cone. I'd probably say either Skelos or Magma Cone casually. And then in a speedrun setting, I would probably say, like low-key, I really like Cloud Temples. I know I'm in it right now, so it's like, oh, it's like just in my mind. I just think this level's fun. If you could get rid of fish, I would say Idle Springs is really fun, because I find the execution in that level to be really simple. What else? What else is there that I really enjoy? I used to like Breeze Harbor a lot. I don't like hate it now. It's just like the new route. I don't enjoy doing aisles of it as much as I did the old one. Alright, so let's just aim.
I suppose you want.
Treetops from Spyro 1 is actually one of my big childhood traumas, I would say. Unironically, I spent so many days in that level, like as a kid, just trying to figure out like how to get through it.
Thanks, Spyro.
Yeah, Fracture's quite cool as well. It is Scotland, but like, you know. So here I'm going to be a bit precise about my movement as to not get teleported at the wrong time. I think I might have gone forward a little bit too much. We'll find out.
I'm a secret.
Okay, I didn't. Okay, we're good. So there, if I move forward while I'm doing that whole like bit that I just did, while I do the fireball at the guy that was in this room previously, it would teleport me early and not let me basically activate the Agent 9 minigame properly, losing roughly about like 25 or 30 seconds. But fortunately, we didn't miss it. I'm that guy. We're cooking. What am I saying about Scotland? I'm just saying Fracture Hills is Scotland. That's all I'm saying. Also, if we can extend it to the overall trilogy, my favorite game, or my favorite level casually as a kid, for sure, was Fireworks Factory. I loved fighting the Twin Dragons. It was like the cool boss fight for me. It was so much better than the sword. Yeah, it's in this game. We're gonna be seeing Scotland soon. We're gonna be seeing by soon. I mean, it's we'll be there in like an hour. About, give or take. All right. Unfortunately, not my best. Not my best first homeworld, but totally fine. Definitely keep this run rolling. Honestly, a lot of the time loss we accrued, funnily enough, came from the boss rush section, which at the very beginning of the run I said was my strongest section. That's cool. I love when I put my foot in my mouth. All right, so as you've probably noticed, we have just now returned to Summer Fort, and we're now tackling the first of the levels that we're going to be traveling to in Colossus. So, as mentioned previously, the reason why we kind of wait to do all of like the levels until after we have Fireball and Extended Sparks range is it just over the course of the run saves so much time, because you have to go out of your way so much less for gems than you would otherwise. That not hitting that, okay, interesting. I disagree, but interesting. Gonna flame charge a couple baskets through a wall there, no big deal. Almost.
Oh, thank.
Now here we have to hit 10 of these different statues that are green with a fireball or a flame. By doing so, it frees the spirit from them. And we have to do 10 of them across the level. We're going to do roughly half of them now, and then another half of them later. Nice recovery there. Very nice. What's the worst level in an S2 run to speedrun? Specifically in the 100% route, Zephyr is by far the worst, I would say. There's a mini game called Cowlix that we're going to be doing later, in which you have to basically guide a bunch of like these like little cute cow things into the right place, but it doesn't exactly... It's not exactly an easy thing to do fast. If you rush it, it makes it go slow because you'll like hit a Calic the wrong way. In general, I would say probably Zephyr's Hundo, right? But what is the hardest in like in Talisman? I would say for me, the hardest split is probably like the final one before Ripto. It's not exactly a level, but basically you just have to do this really hard trick called Spyro to Ripto, which saves give or take like 40 seconds compared to like the next best option. But it's a series of very precise inputs, back to back to back to back to back, and it's really hard, really hard. In the 40 herb category, I would probably say
Would you like to?
what is like the hardest one? 40 herb. There are hard splits in 40 herb. I just can't think of them right now. It's been a while. I don't actually run 40 herb super actively. And then any percent, you don't really do any levels. You just kind of do, you do essentially just the boss rush. Which just includes, I guess, the hardest split there would be the gold fight. If I have to pick one. This is a very upsetting start to... Actually, weirdly enough, 40 herb might be Colossus, because this minigame, doing it hyper optimally, very hard for me. It's not hard for everyone else. It's just really hard for me. That is true. Someone did make a... They made a... So my friend Lazi made a Cowlick crochet stress ball, which is really cool. It's very cool. All right. That's hockey, 2 down. We're going to go through and collect the rest of these statues and gems for the rest of the level. And one thing I did want to touch on at some point during this is I wanted to talk about the... Okay. My hand, I actually just didn't press the buttons there. I wanted to talk about the challenge I'm currently in the midst of. So, for those unaware that are, you know, kind of here for the really long-a-thon stream and stuff like that, I stream a lot on my own time and stuff like that. And I primarily have been doing a challenge called the 10K, which is 100 Spyro to 100% speedruns. And right now, this, as you're watching it, is run number 60.
Well done.
And backup. Disregard this. There we go. Okay. Okay, my controller may have died. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's actually insane. Okay. That has never happened to me before. Okay, so to continue talking about it, the 10K is basically a challenge where, again, the goal is to complete 100 Spyro to 100% runs as fast as possible. I've been doing it alongside a bunch of other runners. That was really funny. That was genuinely really funny because I was just like, why isn't the button work? Okay. Okay. Quick thinking, we get moving. We're good. Yeah, no, nothing happened, right? Nothing happened. I've been doing it alongside a bunch of other runners, notably in chat here, Bradley Gaming, a runner by the name of Zachary Lawrence, who currently is pretty, like, he's just gonna get the record for this category soon. As well as a runner by the name of Nuke_47, who's also really talented. Bradley and Nuke are very close in skill level. DL, of course, being the highest skill level among all of us going into it. And I was very firmly the worst, and I still am, I would say, in terms of my PB and stuff like that. But in the time since I started, I have gone in these 60 runs I've done from a PB of a 152.07 to a 145.05. It's a pretty big improvement across that kind of rough span of time. So, I wanted to bring it up specifically because, you know, obviously if you're watching this, you probably watch speedruns, or maybe you do some speed yourself, right? And, well, I'm not saying to go do your own 10K, to do the exact same thing. I would very strongly recommend challenging yourself to just push yourself through some runs and really give yourself the opportunity to put down as many attempts as you can and really let yourself grind whatever game and category you're really feeling. Because I do find as speedrunners, right, like, we all kind of will do it sporadically, get into it, get out of it, whatever. And some of us get demotivated when we don't see progress and don't get all of the every PB. Everyone can't be a PB, right? We all get demotivated when we aren't playing to our best. And I have an entire doc which I can link you. It's on my Blue Sky and stuff like that, and other stuff, with all of the data for all of our runs. But I think it's a very good resource in the sense of it showcases that ideology of not every run can be a PB. Not every run can be the best run you've ever done. But you can still get through every single run. And as you do that, you'll innately just continue getting better at whatever game and category you're doing until, you know, you do get the PB that you want. I've improved in this category a lot more than I thought I would in the time period of the 10Ks so far. You get that? Okay. Wanted to make sure I got that. And it only really comes off the back of challenging myself to continue doing runs, even at points where I haven't really wanted to.
If you jump on these,
Right? So, again, the point of this entire conversation that I'm bringing up is just challenge yourself and don't just kind of accept when you feel like you're frustrated. And don't treat it as if if you don't PB this run, it's not over. There's always another. The only time it does end is when you decide it does. Very nice chest proxy there. One of the only examples of a proxy in the run that was very beautiful. Very nice. But yeah. My point again being, just challenge yourself. And don't be discouraged by a lack of improvement. At least try not to be. Try to look at it as positively as you can. Don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here as a ray of sunshine trying to tell you I never get frustrated at this hobby either, or I've never had frustrations during the 10K. I had a period of 25 consecutive runs with no personal best, with no PBs during this challenge. 25 consecutive resetless finished runs with no PB. Not just 25 attempts I reset. 25 consecutive finished runs among the range of about 200 or so attempts. And it was frustrating. It was really frustrating. And it really made me not want to play the category. But mind over matter. Keep pushing through. Keep going, and eventually you'll get where. And that's a sentiment I feel like has been shown very much so through the entire 10K, especially for a hundo runner like myself, because I specifically I've never really been, again, I said this at the beginning of
Okay.
the run itself. I've never been much of a completionist runner or a long category guy. I typically like any percents or like any percent MGs or something akin to it being rather short. What you would assume to be like a 30-minute category to an hour. But
Wow.
the 10K has given me a very good excuse to push myself out of that comfort zone and let myself improve beyond what I even thought I could. And again, my point is, you apply yourself, you keep going. It's just a matter of time until you get where you want to be. Very nice. Double flame charge there on those bosses. And here we're going to be seeing another Swiminair here. We're going to be going through Summer Forest. And we're going to be swimming all the way over here. Is the fastest way to collect everything. It feels like a long Swiminair. And it is a long Swiminair. But we will get there eventually. Like that orb. Go up here, collect this orb. Fun fact, in 40 orb we do a little frog proxy. We obviously don't have to do that here because we're swimming there, but it is one of my favorite proxies in the game. So here we're gonna go on down and the ocean speed portal. It's not really about being inspirational. It's just like I just want people that like partake in this hobby to just be able to remind themselves about like the fact that we do it for fun, and also like that if improvement is the game, then for anyone it's just a matter of time until you get where you want to be. Like, I never thought I'd be like high level in any category in this game. And I recently-ish became pretty high level in the category 14 Talisman, which is essentially, if you've watched like SM64 speedruns, it's kind of like what I would describe as like the 16th star of Spyro 2. Right? And I only got there because of sheer force of like will and kind of continuing to like grind and play the game and everything.
I guess
Like,
not.
and I think that sentiment is something that anyone can kind of like live by and kind of like grow to. And I find that because people put a lot of like their value in this hobby, in their PBs, in their like achievements or their leaderboard placement or whatever, it can oftentimes just feel like such a slog to get through it. But as long as you do get through it, you get what you want eventually. Again, it might not be tomorrow. Like, I'm not gonna pick this category up tomorrow and get a 139, right? My PB is a 145.05 for context. I'm not gonna do a run tomorrow, get a 139. But if I do it tomorrow, if I do it the day after that, if I do it the day after that, and I keep going for a while, eventually I'll get there.
Great.
Also, that was Ocean Speedway, our second speedway of the run. Pretty solid. No need to retry. We quit right out. We're gonna hop right onto some lovely times. By lovely times, I mean one of the most aesthetically pleasing levels in Hurricos. By the way, if we were talking sheerly in terms of art style, art direction, my favorite level would absolutely probably be Hurricos from Spyro 2. Just love the vibe, love the energy it gives. Very cool. Run. Even cool. So, Hurricos, we have it broken up into different like sections that you normally would have to get these like little fuses to progress through level with. However, we don't need any of them. All we need to do, collect some gems, abuse double jump, and yeah, pretty much as easy as, oh, we normally have to get a fuse to get over this wall. Sorry, buddy, we don't need you. Simple as we just kind of get to keep going. And also, here,
Spyro.
we can talk to Watt the Electral. Go ahead and give us an orb. He thought that we stopped the little
Remember
fan
to press
blades here.
triangle when you are very
But we
close
didn't
to
do
the
that.
windmill, or you won't make it.
Also, that Electral is, of course, voiced by Tom Kenny, as well as all of the Electrals in this,
Thanks for shutting.
who, of course, is the voice of SpongeBob. And fun fact, by the way, fun fact, SpongeBob... Oh, no. I missed one of the
Thank
5.
you,
I can get that back, though. It's not a big deal. Which, fun fact, by the way, Spyro 2 did come out before SpongeBob did. So technically, SpongeBob it's not the Electrals doing the SpongeBob voice. It's SpongeBob doing the Electrals. And I think that that's really cool. As a big SpongeBob enjoyer, I'll run up there. Like this. Missed a flame charge, so we had to do a backup there to get that. Not a big deal. Doesn't actually lose that much in the grand scheme of things. And because we're entering from the opposite side of how you're supposed to enter those, we actually just get to go straight through those ones. Alright. I had to slow down a bit there because I got a fodder. Whenever Sparks is eating a butterfly, such as... Alright, well, I wanted to hit that rat to give you an example. But whenever Sparks is eating a butterfly, basically what happens is he gets fully locked out of grabbing gems because he's too preoccupied grabbing the butterfly, making it kind of inoptimal to hit butterflies sometimes. But in the case of getting that rat, it would have been fine to do it. That's why I was doing it there. Time previously, it was a little bit inoptimal, but still, we would rather have the butterfly there and that not. So here we're filling up all of these things with these orbs, which we're then going to have a bunch of purple thieves try to take and harness and kill. My line of aim. Am I insane? I actually don't know what I just did there. I might have done that out of order, but I'm not I don't think I did. I'm almost certain I didn't. Either way, we missed a couple of thieves here. Hit him. Grab back here. We are having to back this up really, really horrifically. I unfortunately messed this up really bad. Alright, we're good. We salvaged it. It's not unfortunately gonna be very good, but it could have gone a lot worse at that point. Put that back in there. That orb placement is so peculiar. I've actually never seen that orb land there. Right on the cutscene, right there it was.
Thank you, Spyro.
Yeah, I was more scared of specifically the siren sounds in this level. All right. Unfortunately, not my best Hurricane, but we move. Dylan. Yeah, Casino. There's a few levels in particular that the fodder like to kind of troll you with. Notably Glimmer. There's some ladybugs, which when you're collecting some of the twos in the outside section, can really get in the way. There are others. I'm sure I'll see them as we come through and we get them. But there are some that really tend to give you grief. Okay, well that's not what we. So at the start of Sunny Beach here, the goal is we're gonna collect all these top gems first, all this like opening section. Then we're also gonna start hitting all of these boxes that have turtle logos on them, and freeing a bunch of turtles from inside of them. This is because one of the main objectives for this level to get an orb is to free all the turtles. We get assigned if we talk to an NPC in this level. However, we're not even gonna talk to him. We're just gonna do the task. We know what we're doing. We've been here before. Okay, grab that 10. A little bit of messy movement here. Pull that ladder. Down here. A little bit hasty there. And shoot that one. Let's go. Double jump on. And up. Go. Okay, not bad. We're covering the Sunny Beach nicely. We've had some movement beef, but like, it's unavoidable. And nice. Now we're gonna talk to this guy here and get the end of level talisman. Fun fact, the talismans only exist for the first two homeworlds. Specifically, of course, Autumn Plains and Summer Forest. The latter of which we're in currently.
Your turtle
And beyond that, we just get orbs from the final NPCs in Winter Tundra, which you saw previously. Nice.
So,
I did say movement beef. I affectionately refer to all mistakes that I make as beef, as in I beefed it. So, now what we're doing is we're hitting a bunch of these turtles right on into the water. The reason for this is because this chef here, this guy, he wants to cook these turtles, right? And you gotta be thinking to yourself, like, well then why are they just like willingly accepting it? Your guess, good as mine. Don't know why they're willingly just choosing to march to their soupy demise, but like, they are. And it's our job to stop them from doing that. For some reason, if we do this the first and second time, he will give us an orb for each. And yeah, that's Turtle Soup 1 and 2. I don't know why they just march to their death. They just do. They just want to jump in the cauldron. They just want to be made into soup. Here we do a little shot through the dark. Let's go. And we hit that final turtle box. That bit of scenery there. Get our orbs. Exit on out. That is Sunny Beach complete. I think it's a hot tub. Great, good taste. What kind of liquid do you think it is? Like in that soup, like what kind of broth do you think he has? With the context of it being green. Could be. Could be Mountain Dew. I was about to ask a really dumb question. And I'm gonna ask the question, but know that I've realized why it was a dumb question before I ask it. Okay? I was gonna ask, did Mountain Dew even exist when this game came out? And the of course answer to that question is of course it did. Like, what do you mean? Surely it did. I think I just like register Mountain Dew as like a very new thing, even though it definitively is not a new thing. Like it has been around for, it's probably been around for like what, like I'm gonna guess it came out in the, all right, somebody has to fact check this. Mountain Dew surely came out in like the 70s. I'm gonna guess 78. All right. So, much like this game, we're doing the level basically in reverse. Where what we did, if you missed it, is we hit what was essentially the final button first, which let us swim through the entire level backwards, making the entirety of this level significantly faster, strictly because we don't have to watch a bunch of very slow button animations, as well as just generally like the movement for like these sections is just net faster if you do it like this. There is some glitchiness to it, as you just saw, like that whole section wasn't underwater. That's just because there's several, like, it's kind of not supposed to be underwater at that point, because we didn't even flame the button for it, but very weird. 1948 Mountain Dew came out, and bend in the 40s. That's actually insane. That's actually insane that Mountain Dew came out in 48. Fellas, where were you? Wait, hold on. Now, let's not get into this conversation. What were you doing in 48? 48 Towers does have a very nice OST. A lot of the soundtracks from Spyro 2 I feel like are a bit more slept on compared to 1 and 3. I think overall Spyro 3 has the best soundtrack in my mind, but Spyro 2 has some great songs as well. Made to be a drink mixer originally. That makes sense. It's a great mixer, to be fair. They accomplished what they set out to do. They accomplished it. They absolutely smashed it, actually, I would say. Listen, I won't go into it too deep, but just know that your boy enjoys both some Code Red and Voltage martinis.
Well done. Now that
That makes sense. That totally makes sense. All right, so Hunter, by the way, he's kind of one of the main characters in this game. He's kind of worthless, and instead of helping us and getting orbs, like to beat the guy that they brought us into this world for, he actually gives us challenges to get orbs because he doesn't want to save his world. He wants Ripto to win. And while we've already beaten him, it doesn't change the fact that he's making our life harder by making us do challenges for orbs. And I don't like that. I don't like him. Oh, for sure, Thrasher. Also, fellas, I do want to take a brief moment as we head on to our third and final homeworld that we're going to be doing all the levels for. Talk about what we're here for. So, right now, really, really long-a-thon is raising money for the Open Medicine Foundation Canada. And if we do have a command in chat, please, somebody do ! donate and read up on all of the factors about Open Medicine Canada, or Open Medicine Foundation Canada, and educate yourself on it. Feel free to share the stream around. Feel free to share the cause around. It is a phenomenal one. Alright, so we're heading to Scorch. So the NPCs from this level do exist in my favorite Spyro 3 level, Fireworks Factory. And this level, in general, is actually, weirdly enough, probably one of my least favorites in the entire game. That comes from a handful of factors.
My sister.
Number one being that guy right there. His name is Derek Lander. If you've ever played this game, just trust me. His name is Derek Lander. Don't ask for further elaboration on it. His name is Derek Lander. Yep. And he's a really bad guy. Like this guy here, his name's Bob the flag keeper. Right? He's just trying to keep his flags, dude. Just trying to tend to him. And this guy that we have to do a mission for is just trying to take him off his pedestal.
Great.
And unwillingly, we have to shoot him down 3 times. We have to shoot him down 3 times. Knock him off his perch and take these flags, which he worked so hard to get. All for the sake of this Derek Lander guy. And I'm just gonna say it, I don't like him.
The monkeys.
Yo, Thrasher. My goat. Thank you for the $25 donation to the Open Medicine Foundation of Canada. You are an absolute Giga Chad goat. And the money, of course, will go a very long way towards this phenomenal cause. So here, Hunter wants to put these monkeys in a barrel. There's no real reason for it, as far as I'm aware. He just wants to. So we're going to help him. We're just going to shoot these monkeys down. And I missed one. And now Hunter's happy.
Thanks for your help.
He's completed his collection. Fun fact, that is the barrel from Donkey Kong. They are going to be popping out of that shortly, I reckon, after we leave the level. I believe Funky Kong. I don't know any of the other Kongs aside from Donkey, of course, and Diddy. Funky, Donkey, and Diddy. All right, and now we're gonna be chasing Bob down again here. And by getting ahead of him here, we'll be able to get these vases early. Nice little optimization, because then we don't have to get them later. Pretty fire.
You're so cool.
Escape from the Avatar Zoo, where anthropomorphic animals. Okay, nice. We got the snipe on him.
You won't.
President Ngaka, then yeah, that makes sense. See, that 5 didn't collect. Here we're gonna go in a little bit deep. I think I might have went in a little bit too deep. Basically, we're trying to trigger Bob. Try to get him to come through here as fast as possible. While collecting these gems. We want to keep ahead of him though. Because if we don't keep ahead of him enough, he can hit us and reset our progress back to the start of this minigame. Specifically to the start of this most recent jaunt with him. That was terrifying. Okay, well I missed a 2 gem, but that's not the end of the world. I can recover that. Okay, we're fine.
Great.
Fine. We did it. It actually was a really good scorch outside of this 2 gem. Rather 5. Forgot which order they were in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do have something to do with the Avatar. Pretty sure. Like Goofy. True. True. Alright, boys. We're coming up to the second most terrifying level in the run. Or rather, the most terrifying level in the run. Not necessarily because of the difficulty, but because of the potential to crash. So I'm going to be taking this incredibly simple. So, here in this level, a route was recently discovered, which involves you doing a swim in air. For the ending portion. Which to basically explain to you why that's a problem and why that can crash the game is certain animations aren't loaded for every level. To save on like lag, to save on like different resources for the game. But with a swimming underwater animation existing, there being no underwater enemies that damage Spyro, there is not an underwater damage animation. Because of this, what happens is if you take damage while you're in the swimming state in this level, the game will instantly crash. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, it just happens. So, while we're collecting all these gears, while we're doing all this stuff, please, say some kind words, leave a prayer, take your vitamins, and let's not beef this. Shall we?
Thanks, Spyro.
Any trolley enjoyers? So, fun fact, we don't have to touch the trolley. It's a wonderful thing. Part of this route, and also part of like basically every Breeze Harbor route, involves us avoiding the trolley. Instead, Spyro will be running along it. So here's the part where we're gonna begin the swim in air. Very nice. Good start. Alright, so we want to avoid this enemy here by going up. I really overcompensated going up there, but I really just don't want to crash.
Thanks for getting
About to squawk my boy here. He'll give us a talisman. I head on down here. Hit this guy, because if we don't, he can hit us. Of course, again, we'll crash the game. All these gems swim up. Come back down. Do baskets through the floor. And talk to our NPC, and that should be the level. I've missed a gem, but as a precaution, I'm gonna go here. It's gonna put us on the trolley. And we're just gonna crash and quit. We got the orb, doesn't matter. I just don't want a chance doing weird movement and accidentally crashing the game. So we are taking this. Yeah, I thought I missed that 5 when I came through. That's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah, that's arguably the scariest level in the run. It's honestly not a hard route to do, like executionally. But the fact that you can crash will always make it pretty, especially in a marathon setting. Like if we crash there in a marathon and I don't have a practice save, which I promise I prepared and I have one. I'm not lying. I definitely didn't only think about this now. I promise I didn't do that. That didn't happen. You think it did, it didn't. Probably. But yeah. It's not a hard route. It's just kind of one of them things. So here's one of my favorite levels in the speedrun overall. Skelos. Now, when this level goes well, it is genuinely so much fun to do like ILs of and practice and do like the whole 9 with, right? When it's not, it doesn't go well. When you start snowballing,
Excellent.
pretty. Yeah, that trolley, the Breeze Harbor, that trolley minigame, it's a devil. Fortunately, again, we don't have to even touch it in the speedrun. We just get to collect all the gems as Spyro in this one. So here we're collecting all of the bone dance guys, all these little lizards which drop bones. We'll of course activate our funny little bone guy. Alright, fellas in chat. Does anyone want to see the skeleton dance? Can I get a 1 in chat for every single person who wants to see the skeleton dance? I need at least, let's say 15 ones. If we get, actually I can't count that high. If we get at least one, if we get at least one, if we get one, I'll, yeah. That's, guys, there's too many ones. I'm scared. Fellas, gotta calm down here. That's a lot of ones. That's a lot of ones. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. My good golly gosh. All right, we're gonna watch him do the dance. We're gonna witness it live in living color. That's at least the number I said probably.
Thank you.
Okay, and I got that strat too. Nice. Now we're gonna go and give this a watch. Beautiful thing of art. Look at him. Look at him. Look at this guy go. He's gonna do a flip. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's a 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, he fell. Yeah, it was almost 7. He almost made it. He went crazy. Went crazy for that. Anyway, we're gonna continue speed running the game. I might have fallen a little bit there. Disregard that. Get that lizard. Get our sparks back up to gold. And we're just gonna keep moving. You know what I mean? Gonna keep it moving. All right, 400 out of 400. We haven't missed a gem. We're gonna do a little double jump over here. Start this mini game early. I've talked to any NPCs to start it. And start shooting some lizards. I do that again. If they allow me back next year after how this run has gone, I'll tell you what. If they allow me back next year,
Well done, Grand.
I'll try to submit a 337 and we'll do both bone dance.
Uh-oh.
We'll watch both, just for you. There is also a bone dance egg in Spyro 3. We do 117.
Thank you for helping us.
Alright, and that's Skelos Badlands. Again, great level, phenomenal level, very fun level. Bone dance. You know? He did 5,000 flips. I can't count that high. I got to 7 that time, though. Yeah, he was really close with 7 there. He almost made it. Hop on in to Crystal Glacier. That is what they call me, Crispy. That's what they call me, Crispy Hanako. Greatest of all time. For better or for worse, honestly. Because if this is the greatest, then let's see what else is out there. You know? Of course, being facetious. So here we're gonna start this level. A little Sproder up this wall. Nice. Take a second try. That 2 gem not homing. I am missing a lot of flame charges this run. Very nice. Okay. Those bonks were intentional, if you're curious. Those are actually RNG manipulation for something later on in the run. Oh, guys. Guys. Some people in chat already know what time it is. I need a little bit more chat participation in this level here. Guys, we're going to be meeting someone very special, right? And he really has been waiting all day to see. Like, he's been waiting probably for, like, a good, like, it's been a minute, right? He's been waiting. We're gonna get to him soon. I don't want to spoil it. But when we get there, I need a lot of people to start saying hi. The greatest of all time. One and only. All right, so here we got the talisman there, of course. We're gonna start hitting these little draclets, these like little spider things. These things terrified me as a child. Fun fact. They're not actually that intimidating in hindsight, but as a kid, I was just like, I don't like spiders. And yeah, that feeling permeated through this game. So here we're just gonna fireball all of these. Very, very nice. And now we're gonna be going up. We're gonna be ascending. We do a little height cap break here with a little double jump. Get up above where the height for that flight would normally let you get to. And get some collecting going. Look to the left of the screen here. Oh, you caught a glance. Do you know who that is? Are you guys aware of who that is? Oh, you saw him. There he is. That's George. Everyone in chat, I want to see as much participation as we can get here. Please. Say hi to George. Oh, I left him. I left him behind. I went a little bit too early for him to go. It's really funny. Hi, George. Hi, George. So here we're gonna be feeding this adorable little guy, this funny little dude, this absolute little dingus of a guy. His name's George. We'll be feeding him fish. I promise I didn't just miss one of. Gonna be feeding him. Such a nice guy. Look, now he's happy. He likes us. He's gonna start following us. Ready? Go watch him. He's gonna do the sit animation and sit. Slams his whole thing down like that. All right. So now we have to escort George all the way back to his boy, his master, his whatever you want to call it. To very kindly tell us.
You found George.
We found George. We found George. We found him. That's Crystal Glacier. That is my one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite levels, strictly because of George. No other real reason. No other real reason. We love George. So, from heaven, we fall. We went from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. We went from seeing the best boy, George, to Zephyr, where we of course will have to deal with some Calyx. However, this level does feature some very fun platforming once I get to it, because I have just fallen and I couldn't get up. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna pass away. I'm gonna pass away there. So, if you guys aren't familiar with Zephyr, to talk about the lore of the game a little bit, right? If you guys aren't familiar with this level, this is the sister level to Breeze Harbor. And both this level and Breeze Harbor feature identical enemies and allies. And specifically, they're at war with each other. Yep. They're two warring factions. And how does Spyro stop this? Like, how does he, as the hero of the story, fix this? He plays for both sides and completely murders both, like, militias. He's just a horrible, he's a horrible person. He doesn't even, like, he doesn't try to, like, talk it out. He doesn't try to, like, fix things. Just like, well, I'm just here for the orbs and the talisman. And that's all he cares about. That's it. He's just a war criminal. Just a war criminal. And yeah. I don't think I've ever done that before. Interesting. We might have just fallen. If you're wondering. We didn't want to do that, so we went all the way back up here to unfall. Honestly, it's been a very interesting run. I've made some mistakes I don't think I've ever made.
Well done.
That's true, Thrasher. True. No, George is innocent. George isn't part of these. George is just by himself. He's just chilling. So here is another category extension called True Love. However, I'm not watching that cutscene. I hate True Love. Specifically, the category, not the actual thing. Probably. Anyway, we're gonna be moving all of these cowlicks into Bo Peep's pen, which is going to take a minute because these guys do not, and I mean this, ever want to cooperate. And in general, this is like the split overall. If you were to compare me to like community, like my golds to like the community golds, right? What the best of the entire community gets. This is by far the level I am the furthest off on. Because I am so horrifically bad at this entire portion of the level. Everything else I'm usually pretty okay at. This run, I mean, yeah, maybe not.
You've reunited me.
But in general, these stupid cows don't like to cooperate. I spent a lot of time trying to lab them out, trying to understand them. I tried even like being nice to them. I tried speaking kindly to them, and the only thing that works, seemingly, is just letting my eternal rage towards them just guide them into the pen. So get this one in. That's 5 out of 5. However,
Thanks, Spyro.
where you think maybe it'll be over, like, oh, that's it, we're done. No. Oh man, there's 2 more. Why? Why would there be 2 more? Like, why would there ever be 2 more of these? Anyway, so we have to go get these last 2. Fortunately for us, these are by far the easier ones to get. Because A, it's just 2 instead of 5. B, they're right next to the pen. You don't have to go through this whole like area to get to them. They're just up a ladder. Which is, in my opinion, wonderful. Get the last cowlick into the pen. In. Yeah, exactly. How did they even get there? How did they climb a ladder? They're cows. How does it work? Make it make sense. Anyway. Nice, we hit that snipe on that balloon. I just trusted that I was gonna get that one collecting. This was almost the best I've ever done this ending section, and then I got hit twice. Oh, and I missed the fireball. Oh, man. That was almost a really good ending part. And I missed a 10 somewhere. Okay, let's figure out where this went. What? I apparently missed this. I don't remember missing it, but I did. Oh, at least we recovered it quick. And that was by far the worst level in this entire run. But we get to move on now. We're done with it. Now we get to smile. Are you guys ready to smile? You guys like smiling? I like smiling. Big fan of it. You know what else I'm a fan of?
Well done.
Wanna know what else I'm a fan of, fellas? The Open Medicine Foundation. Of course, we're raising money towards. If you guys are able to, it would be absolutely wonderful if you guys could drop a couple of dollars towards them in this wonderful words. If you do exclamation mark donate in the chat, you can read up further on it and stuff like that and learn more about the cause. So here we're on our third speedway of the run. Not our final one, but our third. This one is Metro. I learned the route for this speedway, as well as one other speedway, from running the Spyro Reignited trilogy, actually. I never learned the actual optimal route for this speedway, for the 100% category. But I kind of came up with my own like rough way to do it. Well, it isn't exactly fast, pretty consistent. And now we're gonna head on down to this mayor guy here. He'd be like, we have these thieves stealing from us. And we're like, what? And then fun fact, they're all raccoons. So when you think about it, this is just a Sly Cooper reference. Even though this game came out several years before Sly Cooper. I'm waffling right now. It's okay. Having a good time, and that's what matters. So we're just following Hunter, who's shooting all of these thieves with a laser beam. And through that, we're just collecting all of these parcels. Of course, contain gems or whatever. I actually don't know what's in them. They have a gem logo on them, so you can only assume they're gems. And once we get the 12th, we're done, and we're basically finished with Metro.
Well,
And that's Metro. Nothing big, crazy, but nice, consistent, easy level before we get into my homeland. Well, one of my homeland. We're, of course, going to
Would you like meat?
Scotland. And in the words of a TikTok sound that I heard once, Scotland forever. Scotland forever. Oh, this is pretty dang. I'd actually believe it too. Did I miss? Oh, I did. Wow, that's actually nuts.
thank you.
Right there, I'm actually supposed to hit the two satyrs at the same time, but I messed up. We get to see Alora for a frame. We actually use her in the route specifically to teleport us to Fracture. And she's pretty useful for that. Outside of that, we don't talk to her, though. Because unfortunately, it is rather slow, too. But we get to see her for a second. And in doing so, we oddly enough get to go to the only other level with Fawns. No? Well, not the only other, but, you know, the one of the only other. So here the objective to get into the talisman room itself is we have to free 6 satyrs across the level. But while we're doing that, we're also going to be doing all of the collection, getting all the gems and all the orbs. before finally making our way to Talisman Room.
Yeah.
These are the goats? No, they're fawns. Dork. Okay, so here we're going to be attempting to do a 1 cycle where as the satyr or the alchemist kind of meanders his way around, we're going to be attempting to get a bunch of gems, free another one of the satyrs, and collect another orb, all in the midst of him running around. Now, normally you would have to bump a bunch of the Earthshaper, like, enemies, by, like, just charging into them to complete the Alchemist minigame, but because we have Fireball, we actually already destroyed a bunch of them, so we just don't have to bother with that. Instead, he'll just make it to Hunter eventually, leaving us plenty of time to do whatever we want.
As long as we make...
Yep, and the speedrun completely gets to bypass the escort portion pretty much. It's pretty wonderful, because as a kid, the Alchemist minigame, of all the minigames in Spyro, what would you say was the hardest for you as a kid? For me in Spyro 2, it was the Alchemist, but in Spyro 3, and I would say overall, by far, it was the Fireflies and Spooky that you have to, like, escort with, like, the bombs. I hated that minigame with a passion as a kid, and even when... There's no way. I've never even seen anyone get this crash before. I've only heard about it. I don't have a backup save for this. I have an idea. All right. Boys. Oh no. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna very quickly, we're gonna keep the timer going. I have a way to back this up, kind of. It's going to be scuffed. It's going to be very scuffed, but we're going to... That is insane. Okay, to give you context, Crash, by the way, just for all sincerity, I have never once in my entire life had that crash happen in a Hundo run. I've done over 160 across my entire time. No memory card, no. And I've never even seen someone get that crash, like, in the, 5 years I've been running these. So that's really cool. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead, do a skip into Crush, and then we're gonna continue on from Fracture. And I'm gonna do it. Can I even do the route without Fireball? Do I need to do an any % run? I don't even know what I'm supposed to.
Spyro!
Actually,
This
accidentally you suggested something, but I'm gonna do that. I wasn't running through Pops, but you can run via Pops if you want to. Or you can't run via Pops. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna open the codes. I'm going to give myself all abilities, and then we're going to continue from Fracture Hills. Disregard what I'm doing. Don't. I clicked them. You can see it. Well, the thing is, any percent. Do an 8% run? Would you rather me do an 8% run? That is genuinely insane, man. I've never seen that crash before. Like, I would have expected, like, most of the other... If it would be better for you guys, for me to do an 8% run, I can just do that. It takes about, like, 10 minutes. Alternatively, I can just do pops and finish the run that way. That's nuts. I'll do pops because it's just... I think it's at least going to be a way of finishing the run. Like, it's not going to say we collected everything, but I know our gem count was correct, so... We were good through to the end of Fracture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teleport us to Fracture, and then I'm going to go ahead and give us all abilities, and then finish out from there. This is going to take a minute to go through. So seriously, that crash is like, I've never seen it happen. Like, it's like, I know it sounds like, oh, he's like, seriously, that happened to anyone. And of course, it happens in a marathon. Do Satyr It could be funny. It could be funny. I could do Satyr. Not going. I'm just going to go to Fracture Hills, exit level after getting all ability. Then we're just going to continue from there. As if I just didn't miss anything. Though I will say, it will be like a little scuffed, but I'm still going to show you guys the entire route, bro. Also, Brad, I'm going to run this by you now. Are you okay with me still counting this towards the 10K? Because if you're... I'll run it by everyone. That's such a... Okay. Can teleport automatically. Fracture. That's fair. That's fair. I do think it's a little cringe, because I would fully give it to you, but I get why. I understand. That's so... Can't believe that. Well, if that's the case, I'm just not even gonna keep it up. Alright, so after Fracture, we would continue on as such. We would grab all of these gems, hit that vase, like the gems. After we exit the level, by the way, they are going to respawn outside, but we're gonna pretend that I got them. It's just a matter of not registering that I did. We're also not gonna get any of the cutscenes, which is unfortunate. And from here, we are just going to go ahead and... Sorry, that is fully thrown off my, like, momentum. That is insane. Okay, it didn't even let me... Okay. So here we're doing a mini game called Popcorn, where basically all of these rocks will just pop up out of the ground that either me or Hunter are going to collect. Both me and Hunter are, of course, competing for points in it. You can see Hunter's score at the bottom alongside mine. And currently we're leading 7-1. In the first one, we have to collect 10 popcorn. And in the second, we have to collect 15. So here, we're going to go ahead and follow him. But the first little bit, just to basically guarantee that we win. I apparently... Wow. Follow Hunter. I might lose this unironically. Nearly got to 50. Unfortunately, we suffered a game crash, which oh, this level's also gonna be messed up because of codes too, isn't it? I'm still gonna show you guys the route, even if this is like the most scuffed way to do it. Because one thing that's going to happen after we get teleported is the gems are gonna respawn in a part. But it's okay. I'm still just gonna treat it as if I'm doing it all right. That is such an insane crash, man. I'm not gonna get over that. That's actually wild, man. Moneybags is gonna be there because technically, according to this, we haven't beaten the game. Even though we have all the abilities saying that we did. And turn away. That. So here we want to trigger, at the end here, we want to kill the last lava guy at the same time as we get up to the top of the volcano, which is pretty hard to do. You've never done it before. But in general, it's a pretty big trick. It saves a good chunk of time in the level. Hopefully I can hit it here. Let's go. We did it. Cool. As you can see, we get kind of a funky looking cutscene there. Get bounced up. We also will get the end of level talisman here from the guy. We got the orb just by being in that little section that we were just in. And like I said, the gems are going to be incorrect. They're going to respawn in places because of the fact that we're on the practice codes, but it's fine. That would be where the net level would normally end. It's all good. Like it's because the level, I'm technically not 100%ing the run, which I think is fair. I think it just sucks. I'm gonna count it towards my personal count for the 10K. It's just not gonna count towards like the overall tally that all of us have for it. All right, so here we're gonna collect these gems here, and Shady Oasis here is gonna be our final. Yeah, I've genuinely never seen that crash like happen in RTA. I've heard about it happening, but this is what it is. Can't control it. Gotta keep moving. And speaking of keeping in control, this entire level is basically just one big escort mission. Where we're going to be escorting the NPC Shorty throughout the level, and they will also give us our end of level talisman after we've escorted them all the way there. And through the process of getting them to that end of level, of course, have to go through all these rooms with gems, which we're going to be cleaning up as we go. Nah, it's all good. Codes do get a bit laggy there. That was a bit framey, but we're good. And now we're at the end of level portion where we're going to talk to this NPC here. Activate their minigame, which spawns 3 wily thieves. We have to hunt down throughout the level to collect their lamps. And it will give us another orb. Right, and so here we're going to be attacking the first one. We're going to snipe it from a distance with Fireball. And here we're going to be sniping a mystery vase, one of the enemies, and a head bash chest all at the same time. go ahead and this guy's minigame at the same time, where we're basically supposed to be freeing all of their brothers from the concrete that they're in. By doing so, they'll give us another orb. This would, of course, be our 60-second if we were going by the actual like amounts that it should be. But again, because we crashed, we're just kind of finishing the run on codes because it's our only option, really. So here we have to snipe this guy. That's really... Alright, we actually got the teleport just... No, I messed that up. And actually, there's been like a lot of solid like levels in the run. There's been like a lot of interesting beef, but it's unfortunately that crash just happens, man. There's no other way to phrase it. It just happens. All right, and that's Shady Oasis. That's the final normal level of the. Now we have one final level to do, and it's a controversial. Hold on. I forgot this would do this. Okay. I have to go back in and then sort of because of the fact that I'm on. I apologize to and staff on behalf of this. I really wasn't expecting this to happen. Genuinely, it was a very unpredictable crash, but is what it is. We're gonna collect these last few gems outside of the level. We're gonna make our way on into Icy Speedway. Our final level. Truly a speedrun of all time. Yeah, it's just that crash in particular, out of all the runs I've done, I've never had it happen. That's a lot of why I'm annoyed about it. Like, if it was like one of the ones I knew about and I just executed poorly, like that's like one thing. That was just one I've never seen. I've heard about it happening. Like I said, I've heard it. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna be going on through all these gates and all these guys. Just kind of continuing on our merry way. Through the usage of Fireball for the speedways in general, by the way, a lot of them become like miles easy. Because like trying to like flame certain enemies is actually just impossible. All right. And now the final minigame. We're basically paragliding. Hunter's just driving along with us, and we're just going through a bunch of rings. That's it. It's nothing crazy. This category ends on kind of a weird note. It's not exactly an exciting level. But the speedway is kind of fun to do ILs of, like the actual like time trial. And then this minigame is just an auto scroller where you hold left and right. Like I only have one hand on the controller right now because you just don't need to have both. Like, just is what it is. And through getting this, we get our 64th orb. We already got our 400 gems from doing the time trial. And with that was Spyro 200%. That's it. That's where the category would end. It doesn't seem like it would, but this is where it ends normally. I once again would like to apologize for the crash. Anyone watching, I'm very, very sorry that happened. I know it wasn't my control, but that is just, man. Yeah, no, I got a 1410, boys. Honestly, kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. Thank you all for the GGs. Assume what I said. So Dragon Shores, like, the only things that you can do in there don't give you percentage. Everything in there, you just kind of, it's whatever. The only thing you can really get from Dragon Shores is Fireball, because you unlock the door to it by having 100% of the game. But we get Fireball early by doing it out of bounds. Yeah, so Spyro 3 has super bonus round. Spyro 1 has Nasty's loot, which give you percentage. This game just gets to 100 flat. No, don't worry. Anyway, folks, my name is Dylanjayfox. I hope you guys enjoyed the run. Yeah, Dragon Shores is just kind of there. It actually doesn't really have anything in the speedrun outside of, like, we need it for Fireball in all the categories, so we will always go in there, but we don't do anything else. If you guys would like to catch me, feel free to drop me a follow. My name is Dylanjayfox. I stream pretty regularly. I do this category a lot. Again, we are part of the way through the 10K right now, so if you guys want to see more 100% runs, feel free to check me out. But also, be sure to check out the awesome charity, the Open Medicine Foundation of Canada. And be sure to donate if you can. Anyway, I am assuming I'm putting us further behind schedule by talking more, so I hope you guys enjoyed the run, and I hope to see you soon. Have a good one, and peace.